Welcome back. We are making one pot meals and I am starting with a sour cream chicken enchilada skillet bake, not bake, just skillet. So this is a little bit different of a style of recipe than I usually do. And it's real interesting. So let's jump right in and you'll see exactly what I mean by it's interesting. Okay, so we're going to start off, of course, by turning the heat on. And I'm going to get about 3 tablespoons of butter in here. And we're starting off by making a roux. How weird is that? That's how this starts instead of like cooking the chicken. Now I am going to do something a little bit different. The only thing I'm doing different though is instead of using a full piece of chicken and shredding it, I'm going to use diced chicken. Otherwise, we are following this recipe. I'm not cutting it in half because it calls for like these 4-ounce containers, and what am I gonna do with the other half of it? So we're doing this full recipe. So what we're doing is we are making the roux first, and then we're just going to put in our turkey stock, which is just so backwards it seems. I'll also add in, it calls for a 4-ounce jar of diced green chilies and a 4-ounce jar of olives, but I had most of a 4-ounce jar of olives in my freezer, so I'm going to use that up. So we'll make basically the sauce first, minus the sour cream. And then we'll add our chicken in and all of our spices in. It's just a little bit backwards of a process from what I'm used to, so very interesting. And I do have my chicken doing the cold water defrost in just a box on the stove. Well, now I got that stuck there. In here, and this is not actually a box, but it's kind of a box. So let's get about 3 tablespoons of flour. That was probably like 1.5. We're probably good with that. And of course, as always, you want to cook out the flour flavor of the flour. And if you're wondering, I don't have a handle on my pot because they melt. So if you're looking at getting pots like these, I love them because they're cute and they can go in the dishwasher, they can go in the oven, but their handles melt. So I did get a different brand handle, and I still don't want to use it on there if I don't have to. They told me you're not supposed to use it on the stove with the handle. Nowhere online does it say that. I know I've told you this already in a different video, but I'm just still so flabbergasted that you're not supposed to use the handle with the pot. It doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, while that flour is cooking out, I think the only thing left to open is this. And it's not in there. I did switch those 2 drawers around. If you remember me saying these drawers should be in different spots, and now I can't find anything ever, so you know how that goes. Let's start adding some of that in. And this is turkey broth because that's what I usually have. Next time I make it, it'll be turkey chicken mixture. Unless I decide to do them separate. Now we need to let it come up to a little bit of a temperature so it'll continue. We've been making a lot of roux recently. This is like a cream of chicken soup minus the cream until we add the cream in later. And you guys, I think this is going to be the perfect opportunity to use some of that taco seasoning that was too spicy, because this calls for a chili powder, like a chipotle chili powder, which I don't have, but I do have my taco seasoning that wasn't very taco flavored at all. It was basically just spicy flavored. So I'm going to use that in place of the chipotle chili powder, and I think it'll work out just fine. Looks like I'm making a gravy. I'm also going to add in these olives. Isn't this so weird how this is going? I mean, normally this is not the order of operations that I would take. Whew. Okay, let's see. We'll add these in, all those chilies. You know what? I've still got this over here. And I want to let this come up to kind of a simmer boil before I add in all of the chicken. And I figure using diced chicken instead of full chicken pieces and having to shred them is just one less step, which is what I always like. This is so interesting. Doesn't this just look strange? I'm like, I don't even understand. This is so different. Hopefully it tastes delicious though. We are starting to boil, so I'm going to get the chicken in. And I just want to kind of spread that chicken out a little bit. I feel like we're just boiling it. That's kind of weird. Okay. So let's add our spices. I've switched out for sea salt because I ran out of salt in that container. Have you guys done something like this before? Or is this just a totally different method? I am going to add just a tiny bit of black pepper. We know I'm not the biggest fan. That's probably enough. It calls for oregano. And it did not call for garlic and onion powder, but whoa, I'm glad that didn't fall in there. But I mean, come on, really? Like, we need garlic and onion powder in here, right? And then our taco seasoning that is just really spicy. I think that's good. That's probably enough. Okay, I think I want to mix those in a little bit. Kind of weird that I'm doing it before. Yeah, we're going to stir it in. And I'm going to try really hard not to touch the bottom of the pan because this will scratch it. Okay, so it says, you know, bring it up to a boil, put a lid on it, and then bring it down to a lower heat for about 15 minutes till it cooks. And then we need to add in our cheese, our sour cream, and our tortillas. So such a strange way to cook this. We'll see how it goes. I just took the temperature of the chicken and it's all cooked, which is great. I need to grab a spatula of some type or a spoon. Okay, so we need to add about a cup of sour cream. Make sure it's still in date before I do that. Where is the date? Best by June. Okay, we're good. Okay, we got a little bit left there. Mix that in. Actually, I'm going to add cheese at the same time. Probably good. It looks good. Looks really liquidy, so maybe after I add the tortillas in, it won't be so liquidy. Okay, we are going to add in some tortillas, and I'm going to kind of rip them in. And these are corn tortillas. We actually really liked these corn tortillas. They were from Sam's Club. Oh gosh. I don't know how many tortillas is the right amount of tortillas, so we'll mix it and see what we think. I think more than that. I think I need to reread the recipe and see if there's anything else I need to do, but I think that's it, but it looks quite soupy. Aha. Okay, stir until combined, top it with the cheese, cover pan and cook for 5 to 8 minutes until it's bubbly and the cheese is melted. So we need to cover it, cook it for about 5 more minutes. And I also think, it said 12 tortillas, so I think I had probably about the right amount. Did I? Maybe we'll do 2 more for good measure. You know, I should probably put those green onions in here too. Yeah, makes it look not so bland. It looks delicious. Okay. And that'll give it a little oniony flavor. I was reading the comments and it said, a lot of people were saying that it needed a little something else. Okay. A lot of people were saying they did Rotel instead. I like just the diced green chilies on their own better than a Rotel. Okay, and then I did look on hers, and she had some paprika, I think, on top, just to make it look cute. Okay, we're doing it. I've never cared about presentation before, but cute. Now we'll cover it and let it go for another 5 minutes or so. Okay, it's been our 5 minutes. This actually looks delicious, so let's see how it tastes. Turn this off. Okay, it's a little thicker than it was. It is pretty soupy though, so maybe after it sits for a while, it'll be less soupy, but I'm real bad at letting food sit before trying it. I'm intrigued to see how the black olives do in here. I've never done that before. Some of that got a little crispy on the one edge. Okay, here's what it's looking like. I'm gonna let it cool off just a second before I taste it so I don't burn my tongue. Let's see. This has a mild flavor. I really like it. I don't think I would have really enjoyed Rotel. I'm looking to see if I can find an olive. I feel like there's one. Okay, let's see how it is with an olive, because that to me is a little different. That is so unique. I never would have thought to put olives in an enchilada, but that is actually quite delicious. I'm gonna go sit down, have lunch. Is it lunchtime? Yeah, it's 1:29. I never eat at a normal time. And we'll be back when we have another one pot meal. New day, and we are continuing on with cooking up some one pot meals. I'm going to do 2 at once today because why not? You know, I should probably get some oil into this pan. I'm going to do a barbecue chicken and rice, oops, wrong one, and a pasta with ground beef, but the pasta with ground beef, actually I usually don't do that. I'm gonna skip that. The pasta with ground beef has ranch dip in it, which is different than what I've ever done before, so we'll see how that goes. And I wanted to do these both at the same time because they'll probably take about the same amount of time to cook, and that just means that I only have to cook half the amount of time this week that I would if I would do them separately. So we are killing 2 birds with 1 stone. I did take this meat out a few hours earlier and I did the cold water defrost method, and then I just stuck it in my fridge until I was ready for it. So I am going to get these both, this one isn't even like, is that hot yet? Nope. Okay, getting them both seasoned up. Going to add some salt and pepper. And then this one also gets some garlic powder, onion powder, and smoked paprika, which I need to refill the smoked paprika. Oops, and apparently the garlic. Okay, and while that's going, let's get the top off of this turkey stock. I have a little bit of barbecue sauce left here. I might need some more, so I might use this. And then here is some honey. I'm going to use the last of this. So we're using things up. It's almost like a pantry challenge. but it's not. Okay, see how much of this I can do without putting a handle on them. This one needs some onions as well. So as soon as I give it a little bit of a flip, we'll add those in. I hope this pan isn't too small. And I'm also going to add some garlic into this one. My garlic is basically gone. I think we're going to call it on that. Okay, now while these are cooking away, I am going to get some tomatoes chopped up. The recipe I'm using doesn't call for tomatoes. I'm going to put this in the ground beef recipe because I need to use these tomatoes up and because I thought it could have a little bit of a vegetable of some type in it. So we'll do that. I also think there might be some pieces of this. It might not be good anymore, so we'll see. This one too. Okay. Okay, we're going to turn that down, get all of this barbecue sauce out of here. I'm skeptical of barbecue sauce and honey with rice. We'll see how that goes. I think this could use a smidgen more barbecue sauce. And then I'm going to add in 2 cups of broth. Oh gosh. Woo. We're going to let this heat up and then we'll add in the rice. And we'll just cross our fingers we don't make a mess. I'm going to add in our ranch seasoning. This is so interesting, ranch and beef bouillon. And I'm going to use a bouillon cube because I don't have beef broth. Okay, there's the ranch. And then I could do mixed vegetables in there. I don't think there's enough room in there to do it though, so I think I'm going to leave that out. And then we can just do a vegetable on the side. I'm going to throw these tomatoes in now because why not? We'll call that our vegetable. Just fruit, but close enough. Oh, I spilled something. Okay, so now let's get in 2 cups of bouillon. So here is 2 cups of water. And we have a cup of milk. Oh, my milk though is frozen, so. Okay, well, there we go. Okay, let's see how much of this we need. A teaspoon per cup. So we'll do 1 teaspoon, about 2 teaspoons. Okay, that one is just about there. So I'm going to add in this rice. That was a little shy of a cup. So hopefully we're not too cooked. That was a sushi rice. It called for a long grain, but that's okay. And then I want to get that milk all the way melted before I add the noodles in. And I'm just going to use the bow ties because that is what I had open that was at like the right, what do you call that? Quantity. Like if I used what was left in there, it would be the rest of the box. I'm excited to see how this one turns out, but also I think I was maybe pushing the pot size here too. Okay, I'm going to lower this one a little bit. Keep this one up until it comes to a boil though. Oops. I always go for the wrong thing. Wrong button. Okay, give this a little bit of a mix. This one looks like it is now coming up to a boil. Lower the heat a little bit. I go to the wrong one every single time. I need to get another one of these things out. Let's get this pasta in here. This one might be promising. I mean, they both might be promising. I'm just skeptical of rice with barbecue sauce. That's all. Keep that heat up a little bit actually for a second. Hopefully that's enough liquid to cook the pasta. Down a little bit, and let's see. Let's cover these. That might not have been the right lid for that. That one is. Okay, now we just gotta let them cook, then we'll add cheese to this one, give them both a try, and we have some meal prep. Okay, these are totally done now, fully cooked through. I just tasted a noodle to see if it was fully cooked, and oh my gosh, it is so good. Just the noodle with like the ranch seasoning and the beef broth. So good. I don't even think it necessarily needs the cheese, but I'm going to add the cheese because I like to follow my recipes to a T. Just kidding, we know those tomatoes weren't actually part of this recipe. It calls for 2 cups. I think I'm just gonna do that much. I think that's probably plenty. So let's see here. I can't believe I never thought to put like ranch packet inside of a pasta. This might be my new favorite thing. This is much better than like a hamburger helper dupe. Fantastic. We're gonna try this in just a minute, but here's our rice and barbecue sauce. I almost said bacon. There's no bacon, but that would probably be really good in there. And then here is our ranch cheddar pasta, which I'm so excited to actually try for realsies instead of just the little bite that I had. So delicious. Okay, let's see here. I need to grab myself a fork. Let's see how this is. I didn't even check to see if the rice was cooked. I just know that it ran out of liquid. Okay, flavors are good, chicken's good, rice is not quite cooked all the way. I'm gonna add a little bit more water in there and then just let it cook down. Otherwise, I think that's delicious. Okay, water, turn this back on. And that's all I'm looking for at this point, is to just get the rice fully cooked. Let me just mix this in, and I'm just gonna let that sit. But I think I might be a big fan. I never thought about rice with barbecue sauce. That's so good. Okay. Now, this one that I'm so excited for. Get that with a tomato. Okay. That is so good. Honestly, it would probably be better without the tomato, but I wanted to use up the tomato. It's still good with the tomato though. Alrighty, those were our 3 one-pot meals. So delicious, and I even love when I do more than 1 pot of meals at a time, because then we have some meal prep, which is great. So if you're interested in seeing some other meal prep that I've done, I will leave some videos here. Thanks so much for being here. If you haven't yet, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.